I found myself driven to make art in that sense, and it hasn't stopped since. I started drawing from a very early age. I don't even remember. I do remember my father coming home with a big ream of newsprint, and I would start by copying the comic strips I would see every day in the newspaper, and I became really engrossed in that. And it's something I pursued, frankly, all through my life. And it wasn't until I reached high school that I started becoming aware of the fine arts, or the arts we typically associate with, say, work we see in museums. It's given me actually a broader understanding of the world, and not only my place in it. I suppose it does have to do that because I'm making the work. But I found it's made me much more curious about what I see out in the world, what I see around the world, and what I see in other people's art, and art from various cultures. As the longer I live, the more I'm fascinated by what and why and how people are making things throughout the world. So I feel it is really not only given focus to my life, but it's also as I said before, it's allowed me to remain curious in a way that otherwise I'd be afraid that I would kind of shut down in a sense. But it has allowed that kind of a range of inquisitiveness. That's one thing I value both with other artists as well as my students, and that's the ability to stay kind of open and not become to gain tunnel vision or become too codified in your worldview. Well, as I tell my students, there's no art without risk. You can't always play safe, and it's true for any great work of art. There's not one point in it, whether it's a poem, again, whatever art form it is, where the artist hasn't stretched his or her aesthetic viewpoint or a process. It's actually a painting by a young woman who is a theater major. This woman is really quite gifted. I do try to encourage them to take risks, and by really calling into question what their preconceived notions are. I'm most fascinated by art because both looking at art, but my own as well, because it's like it's so curious. I never know what I'm going to come up with. Looking back at my work, I'm always surprised by what I have accomplished in terms of the pieces themselves. So it just gives my life a greater complexity and involvement, and it's really kind of it has just sustained my level of curiosity going out to the world.